You keep saying you'll start tomorrow. But tell me this, when has tomorrow ever come? How many times have you whispered that same excuse to yourself, thinking it would hold weight, thinking it would somehow make you feel better about doing nothing? You said it last week. You said it last month. Hell, you said it last year. And yet, here you are. The truth is, you don't believe yourself. Not really. You say you'll start when the timing is right, when you feel ready, when life slows down. But deep down, you know the truth. If you were serious, you'd have already started. And that's the part you try to ignore, isn't it? That gnawing feeling in the back of your mind that whispers, if not now, then when? But instead of facing it, you distract yourself. You convince yourself that waiting is somehow a strategy, that delaying is somehow progress. People love the illusion of later. It makes them feel safe, like they're not wasting time, just delaying it. They convince themselves that opportunity will still be there, waiting patiently like an obedient dog. But opportunity doesn't wait. It moves on. It finds someone else, someone who isn't making excuses. And let's be real. You've made this promise to yourself before, haven't you? I'll start next week. I'll change when I have more time. I just need to get through this first. Sound familiar? You keep postponing your life like you're immortal. Like the clock isn't ticking. Like you'll wake up one day and magically have more discipline, more drive, more courage. But that day never comes. And you know it. You've seen this pattern play out before. The workout plan you never followed, the book you never wrote, the skills you never learned, the dreams you left sitting in the corner collecting dust. Every time you delay, you're proving to yourself that you don't mean what you say, that your own words are empty. And when you do that enough times, you start believing it. You start seeing yourself as someone who doesn't follow through, someone who talks but never acts. And that's the real danger. Not the missed opportunity, not the wasted time. The real danger is what it does to you, what it turns you into. Because when you tell yourself a lie enough times, it stops being a lie. It becomes your identity. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. So tell me, if you won't commit now, what makes you think you'll magically do it later? What's going to change? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Except one. You'll be even further behind. You think you have time. That's the biggest lie of all, isn't it? That there's still room to wait. That tomorrow is guaranteed. You keep telling yourself you'll start when the moment is right, when things calm down, when life gives you a sign. But here's the brutal truth. Time isn't waiting for you. It's not your friend. It's the quiet hand that keeps pushing you toward the edge, whether you're ready or not. Every second you waste isn't just a second lost. It's a second given to someone else. Someone who's already doing what you refuse to start. Someone who didn't sit around waiting for the perfect moment, because they knew the perfect moment doesn't exist. While you hesitate, they execute. While you make excuses, they build. While you promise yourself you'll start soon, they're already miles ahead. And yet, you keep lying to yourself, telling yourself you have plenty of time, that you're still young, that there's always next year. But let me ask you something. Where did the last 5 years go? How fast did they disappear? Blink once, and a decade will pass. Blink twice, and you'll be standing in the wreckage of wasted potential, wondering where it all went. You don't have plenty of time. You have whatever's left. And you don't even know how much that is. That's the part no one wants to think about. The uncertainty. The unknown expiration date. The possibility that the time you're banking on might not even be there. You act like you have a full tank, but for all you know, you're running on fumes. And what are you doing with the time you do have? Wasting it. Drowning it in distractions. Numbing yourself with useless entertainment. Convincing yourself that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow will be just like today. Because you are just like today. Nothing changes until you do. Procrastination is slow-motion self-destruction. It doesn't ruin you all at once. It kills you bit by bit. It's not the big, dramatic failures that destroy most people. It's the small, silent ones. The days that slip by unnoticed. The ideas that never leave your mind. The potential that rots inside you because you were too afraid, too lazy, too comfortable to do anything about it. And one day, when you finally decide to start, when you finally realize how much time you've wasted, you'll look around and see nothing but regret. You won't wake up one day with more motivation. You won't suddenly feel ready. You'll just wake up older, with less time and more excuses. Or worse, no more excuses. Because by then, it'll be too late. I'm not ready yet. That's what you tell yourself, isn't it? Like there's some magical moment when the stars will align, when fear will vanish, when you'll suddenly wake up with all the confidence and skill you need. But let me ask you this. Ready for what? No one is ever truly ready. The ones who succeed didn't wait until they felt prepared. They jumped in while they were still clueless, still scared, still figuring it out along the way. You sit there waiting for certainty, but certainty never comes. It doesn't exist. You're not waiting to be ready. You're just stalling. Then comes the next lie. I need to figure things out first. Really? Because last time I checked, you've been figuring it out for years. Still waiting. Still thinking. Still making plans you never follow through on. It's not preparation. It's procrastination dressed up as logic. A comfortable way to avoid taking action while pretending you're making progress. But here's the truth. You don't learn by sitting on the sidelines. You learn by doing. You won't figure it out before you start. You'll figure it out because you start. So stop playing mental chess with yourself. Stop acting like more thinking will magically lead to more action. It won't. The only way forward is forward. And then, the biggest lie of them all, I'll start when things settle down. As if life is ever going to hand you a perfect moment, free of stress, free of problems, free of distractions. Let me break it to you. Life never settles. The storm never ends. You think you'll have more time later? You won't. You think things will be easier next month? They won't. If anything, the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Responsibilities pile up. Fear grows stronger. The gap between where you are and where you want to be stretches wider. Every day you delay makes the climb steeper. You tell yourself you need more time to prepare. But preparation is just another form of avoidance when it never ends. You're stuck in a cycle of overthinking, overanalyzing, and underacting. Stop preparing. Start moving. You don't need another plan. You don't need more research. You don't need to wait for some imaginary perfect version of yourself to appear. The only way to be ready is to begin. You think effort is painful? Try regret. Try waking up one day and realizing you wasted years waiting for the perfect moment that never came. Try looking back and seeing nothing but missed chances, lost time, and a version of yourself you were supposed to become, but never did. That pain, that's worse than any struggle you're avoiding right now. Discipline is uncomfortable, but so is failure. Pick your pain, because either way there will be suffering. The difference? One kind of suffering builds you, the other destroys you. You hate waking up early, pushing yourself, grinding when you don't feel like it. Fine. But you know what's worse? Waking up 10 years from now, looking in the mirror, and not recognizing the person staring back. Seeing someone who settled, someone who played it safe, someone who could have been more, but wasn't. You ever met someone who waited too long? You can see it in their eyes, that dull, tired look of someone who had dreams once, real ones, but let them slip away. They tell themselves they're fine, that it just wasn't meant to be. But deep down, they know. They know they had a chance, and they let it rot. Wasted potential is a slow death. You don't feel it all at once. It creeps up on you. A little regret here, a little self-doubt there, until one day you realize you're out of time. And here's the worst part. Regret isn't felt now. It's felt when it's too damn late to change anything. So you can keep choosing comfort. Keep avoiding the work. Keep making excuses. But understand this. One day, you'll wish you could go back to this exact moment, the one you're in right now, and start. By then, it'll be too late. No one's coming. No mentor, no friend, no miracle. You can sit there, waiting, hoping someone will swoop in, take you by the hand, and pull you out of the mess you've made. But that's not happening. No one is sitting around thinking about how to fix your life. They're too busy trying to survive their own. Success doesn't find people. It doesn't just land in your lap because you deserve it. It belongs to those who hunt it down, those who claw their way toward it with bloody hands and unshakable focus. You think the people at the top got lucky? No. They decided, long before anyone knew their name, that they weren't going to rot in mediocrity. But you're still waiting, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to notice you, help you, save you. Let me tell you something. No one is losing sleep over your potential. No one is staying up at night wondering when you'll finally get serious. The only person who can change your life is the one staring back at you in the mirror. You tell yourself you need a push, that if you just had a little support, things would be different. But the truth? You wouldn't even listen. If you were truly ready, you wouldn't be looking for a savior. You'd be saving yourself. And deep down, you know that. You know how many times you've said, "I'll start tomorrow." How many chances you've wasted. How many hours you've let slip through your fingers. You know exactly what you should be doing. But instead, you scroll, you binge watch, you distract yourself, because facing your own excuses is too damn uncomfortable. But you know what's worse than discomfort? Living a life you despise. You can cry, complain, or keep lying to yourself about why you haven't started yet. But results don't care. Reality doesn't care. You think life feels bad now? Wait until you realize you wasted it. This is your wake-up call. No more waiting. No more hoping. No more expecting a hand to reach out and pull you up. No one is coming. No one is going to push you. Either you rise or you rot. The first step is ugly. It's messy, awkward, and uncomfortable. And that's why most people never take it. They want perfection on day one. They want to feel ready, feel confident, feel motivated. But that's not how this works. Confidence doesn't come first. It comes from doing. You don't wake up one day feeling like a winner. You become one by showing up, grinding through the doubt, and proving to yourself that you can. But that's where most people fail. They sit and wait for motivation. As if one magical morning they'll just want to do everything they've been avoiding. Newsflash. That morning isn't coming. Motivation is a lie. A cheap drug that makes you feel good for 5 minutes before it fades, leaving you exactly where you started. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. The ability to move forward whether you feel like it or not. Because feelings are unreliable. They change with the weather. But discipline? That's permanent. That's the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who never even get off the ground. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop lying to yourself about why you can't start yet. You say you don't have time? Look at how many hours you waste. You say you don't know where to begin? Just start. Anywhere. Imperfect, unprepared, uncomfortable, but moving. Because motion is the only thing that kills stagnation. No one is going to hand you permission to change your life. No one is going to clear a perfect path for you. You have to carve it out yourself, bleed for it, earn it. And when your excuses try to creep in again, when your mind whispers, maybe later, remind yourself, the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the bullshit you keep feeding yourself. You don't need more advice. You don't need another book, another podcast, another deep thinking session where you map out the perfect plan. You don't need to sit there, overanalyzing every possible outcome, convincing yourself you'll start when the timing is right. You need to move. You already know what you have to do. You've known for a long time. But instead of acting, you stall. You tell yourself you're preparing, but all you're really doing is delaying. Paralysis by analysis. Thinking so much about the how that you never actually do. Enough. You don't need the whole blueprint. You just need to take the first damn step. Start small. Start ugly. Start without knowing everything. Because here's the truth, nobody ever knows everything before they begin. The ones who succeed aren't the ones who had the perfect plan. They're the ones who took action despite not having one. While you're hesitating, others are moving. While you're waiting for the perfect conditions, someone else is building, brick by brick, step by step, until suddenly they have what you were thinking about starting. It's a war against time, and you're already behind. The world isn't going to pause while you figure things out. Life is moving forward, with or without you. And every single day you hesitate, someone else is taking what could have been yours. Someone else is claiming the opportunity you let slip through your fingers. Someone else is winning the race you haven't even started running. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep waiting, keep making excuses, keep lying to yourself about why now isn't the right time? Or are you finally going to do something? Because in the end, the harshest truth is this. Every day you wait, someone else takes what could have been yours. No more one day. No more when I'm ready. You've been saying those words for how long now? Weeks? Months? Years? You tell yourself you're waiting for the right moment, but deep down, you know the truth. There is no right moment. There never was. There never will be. Life doesn't pause for you. Opportunity doesn't wait around while you make up your mind. Success doesn't show up at your door, asking if you're finally ready to step up. You either take action or you get left behind. Look around. Look at the people who always talked about what they were going to do. The ones who had dreams, plans, ideas, but never acted on them. Where are they now? Still in the same place, still talking, still convincing themselves that someday they'll get their shot. You have two choices. Start now or stay the same forever. It's that simple. You can either make excuses or you can make progress, but you can't do both. And if you think life cares about why you couldn't do something, think again. It doesn't care that you were tired, that you were scared, that you weren't sure if you'd succeed. It doesn't care that you had every reason to quit. Neither does success. The world only remembers those who do. The ones who push through, who show up, who take the hits and keep moving. The ones who stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start executing. So ask yourself this. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? How many times have you promised yourself you'd change, only to end up right back where you started? And more importantly, what makes you think that will ever change? Because here's the final, brutal truth. If you can't do it now, what makes you think you ever will? No more delays. No more waiting for the stars to align. This is your defining moment, right now. Not when you feel ready, not when life gets easier. Now you say you want to change. Prove it. Not by talking, not by planning, not by making empty promises to yourself, by acting, by starting, by refusing to let another day slip through your fingers. Because the only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the ones who succeed stopped waiting. They didn't know if they were ready. They didn't have a guarantee, but they moved anyway. And that's the only way out. So ask yourself one last time. If you won't do it now, what makes you think you ever will?